Hey, Jerry. So these days you are the presiding director of the Moonview Sanctuary in Santa Monica, California, which offers peaceful and supportive atmosphere for people who need to help in overcoming personal crisis, releasing addictions, optimal performance, transformational health and assessment. It sounds like an awful lot of CEOs under fire could use some peaceful and supportive atmosphere. You have been in that hot seat, sir. How hard is it as soon as you leave amidst all those headlines? I mean, were you devastated, or do you're an optimistic guy and it didn't really affect you much?
Well, of course it affects you, but the lessons are really remarkable and important. Part of the problem is that when you're in office, slowly but surely you lose your sense of identity. And by the way, all the perks that you have are, become addictive. Whether that's the office, the entourage, the planes, you get isolated from yourself, from your family, and who you really are. And you forget that it's transitory, that there is a next chapter. And you kind of put aside the important things like, why are you here and what about your family? So, yes, when all that is taken away, you finally realize that a lot of the coverage, and by the way, we've made celebrities out of CEOs. Yes, we take them up and we take them down.
We vote on it once a week, actually.
And that's fine, but it's important for us to understand that that's not the true identity of the person. To be a CEO is actually an important assignment, but it's only temporary. Yeah. And if you kind of separate yourself from what's really going on, I had an opportunity, obviously, to fly in corporate jets. I was very upset when I had to do that, frankly, because I used to take the subway every day. And I used to, shop in the supermarket, and that's the way I kind of understood what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Tell us what you think right now. How does Jimmy Kane feel right now? How does Dick Fold feel right now? How does Hank Paulson, who has gotten whipped around in the last few months, how do they feel right now?
Well, Jimmy Kane and Dick Fold, Hank Paulson, John Thane, these are all good people, but they became, unfortunately, intoxicated with self-worth, with a kind of, it develops into a kind of power hubris. I mean, we're at the Powerlunch, and I'm not a power player, but you begin to think when things go well and the coverage of you is there's a lot of adulation, you begin to believe and you stop relying on people around you. You begin to take risks, and your ability to assess risks becomes somewhat distorted. So now that they're, you can say have been taken down, there should be some understanding on their part that they were never as good as they were depicted to be, and they're not as bad as they are now being told.
And what about the burden of responsibility? Take a Dick Fold, whether you think that he did right or wrong, that company is gone, and a lot of people lost their jobs and their entire life savings. What about the burden of responsibility on someone like Dick Fold?
All right, absolutely. Part of this is we keep our CEOs sheltered. I mean, Dick and everyone else, who's out there speaking now about all these public issues, the TARP, as opposed to kind of hiding behind your individual company and trying to justify an earnings report? Where is that kind of communication that, frankly, we're seeing from President Obama? If he and others had done that all along, constantly communicating, then when it came time to take responsibility, it wouldn't be assuming responsibility for things that have only gone wrong. He would have taken responsibility all along.
But what about guilt? I mean, do you think that gentlemen like these feel guilt? I mean, their companies have been decimated, and in some cases no longer exist.
And in fact, should we blame them for the mess that we're in right now?
I think there's a lot of blame to go around. I think we should give them a chance to speak out, to be open, and to recognize that if they had been more open earlier on, to indicate, at least to themselves, to their companies, to their boards, that they don't have all the answers, we would have, I think, a better Wall Street today. And I do think there should be responsibility. And, should they be pilloried? No, but they should get out in the public and talk about what happened.
Jerry, How much are we at risk of thwarting the recovery effort because of this public lynching attitude and all of the anti-CEO and anti-fat cat executive stuff going on right now?
I mean, obviously, it's going to a point, and this always happens, where there has to be a devil to get us revived again. I think what will turn this around will be more CEOs who will mirror, frankly, what Obama is doing, which is to get out there and communicate and collaborate and be an agent of change and not blame the system, but just get out front. Let's get some leadership. Let's get some CEOs who want to stand up and not just be parochial about their companies, but talk about what's going on in society today. This division between Wall Street and Main Street, which I think is a kind of a handy phrase, and while there is obviously some fire in that smoke, it's an overstatement.
Did you do that enough when you were CEO and things were falling apart at the AOL Time Warner?
I don't think I did enough, because I don't think I was open enough to understand that I didn't have all the answers. Frankly, after a while, there's a certain self-absorption with being a CEO. Yes, boards are supposed to be there. You're supposed to have advisors, but the CEO, to a certain extent, has had absolute power. That needs to change. And I don't think that when I was there, while I thought I was doing the best, and I can give you a justification for every strategic move, I don't think I collaborated enough.
Very interesting insights there. That's why we brought you along, Jerry, today. Good stuff.